Our All-in Learning Response System, we call it AIR, A-I-R, for All-in Learning Response, establish a rich and simple environment for synchronous daily learning activities. It allows you to support engagement, flow activities, team and small group activities, feedback strategies, monitoring of student progress, and sharing. It can be green. Our RF system, RF meaning radio frequency system, doesn't require any batteries, so it's a battery-less pad. It can be recharged on a partial charge of about a minute, and it'll give you around 150 clicks or answers from a student. On a full charge, you're looking at somewhere in the range of 350 to 500 clicks before you need to either do a partial charge or a full charge. It's $295 for 26 students. You can go with a battery IR system, which has to be pointed. It has a receiver unit that you have to point to, and it's $145 for 26 students. We want all teachers to depend on these research-proven tools daily. So we designed this so that they're affordable. There's no need to check out of a library for sporadic use. And so these research-proven tools, we designed these to be used on a daily basis in every classroom. Now what I'm going to do is demo this with 5 questions, and I've got a 6-student roster, pad numbers 1 through 6, and we're just going to go do some questions so you can see exactly how this works. So this is a question that we've put on the screen. When I'm ready to restart the response system, I'll click on Start a Question, and you can see my roster defines the number of slots I see here. My roster is 6, so I see 6 students. My roster is built in the cloud, and all this data is being collected in the cloud. Now, it doesn't get written to a footprint until I close the session. But right now, the data is being collected in the cloud. So as the students answer this, their answers will come in, and they're indicated by their slot turning blue, so the students can see their answers. If a student chooses to change an answer, I'm student 6 here, and I change my answer, it'll blink yellow. If I want to verify an answer, let's take student 2, and I want to verify my answer, it'll blink green. So the students have the ability to change an answer. They have an ability to verify an answer. If they answer out of range, like 6, I just answered E, it'll blink red. When I end the question, I'm going to get a chart on the screen. That's an optional. You don't have to show the chart, but it is an optional chart that shows the students and how they responded. So we have 6 students that responded B. That was the correct answer. So we got 100% on that particular question. We're going to keep a cumulative total for the lesson. So when I close this, I now can move on to my next question. There's a science question. We've got a variety of questions we want to illustrate this with. You can use this with any content. So we could use the ad hoc portion of it with content that's coming from a book or from the web. We've got these questions built in, so when I start this question, the students will respond, and as they respond, we'll see the responses. So all 6 of our students have responded. I'll end the question, and we'll see that we had 3 responded B and 3 responded C. C was the correct answer. So this is the essence of rapid formative assessment. We've asked a question. There's obviously some misconceptions or distractions or whatever, but we did have 50% of the class that missed it. So now the teacher has the opportunity, with the appropriate feedback strategy, to identify the issues and show the correct answer. I'm going to go to a lower level reading type question. This comes from a book on castles, or a reading passage on castles. It's a small book. And the students have read this, and now we're going through a synchronous in-class activity where the students are going to show their retention of this or their comprehension. So when I start this particular question, they're going to respond to either A, true, or B, false. And so when we end the question, we'll see that 83% of the class got that correct. So we had one student that didn't answer it correctly. Now we'll be able to see in the reports the individual student. We generally recommend that you don't try to identify the students or worry about the individual students in class. Notice our cumulative percent is 78%, the 50% incorrect or correct on the previous question. Hurt us there. Okay, so let's start this language arts question. We'll answer C for everyone and get our cumulative percent correct up a little bit. So we got 100% on that. I'll close that. Our cumulative percent went up. You can see some options here. We can choose to show the cumulative percent or not show it. We can choose to show the response chart that's been coming up in the upper left on the screen or not. So those are the options that we have. We certainly can pick a student from the roster and ask them a question, so you have the ability to do informal formative assessment by randomly choosing students. Now we can hide that and our cumulative percent comes back up. And finally, our last question, we'll start this. Not too many people are savvy on the Constitution, so we get a variety of answers on this. So let's do that. And so 4 put one in and they changed their mind. And we end the question and we see that nobody got that correct. The correct answer is D. And we had half the people go with A, the other half go with B. So unfortunately that that hurt us substantially on our cumulative percent correct. I like to recommend that for any particular lesson that the teacher set a goal for the particular lesson for a class goal, maybe 80%, 85%, and it gives the students something to shoot for as a goal. Now, what I'm going to do is to close this session, and when I close this session, it's going to write these results of these 5 questions as a footprint to the cloud. And so this particular lesson is called Growing Student Success Daily. So this will insert a footprint in the cloud that has the results of this particular session, the student outcomes. So let me close it. It's going to ask me if I'm sure I want to do that. It says, are you sure you want to end your session and create a footprint? I'm going to say OK, and it's closed. Now we're back to my account. My account is Sandy Garner in the cloud, and I should be able to go to my footprints now and see the footprint that we just delivered. And you can see Growing Student Success Daily. My roster was the Celebrity 6 roster. We asked 5 questions. There was our comprehension. There was the date that we delivered this. And now I can go look at my results, and I should see the results from that session. My comprehension was 67. I didn't attach any standards, so we won't look at the standards analysis. We can look at an item analysis, and we see that question 2, that's a 50% question where we had the science question. And there's the question 5, which was the American history question. You see we can export to CSV, we can print. And then here's the student analysis. So here's our celebrity roster: Troy Aikman, Barbara Bush, Ryan Howard, all at 80%. Josh Hamilton, Oprah Winfrey, Dirk Nowitzki, they came in at 60 and 40. And again, I can print that, I can export that to CSV. I've got a variety of things I can look at. I can look at the student feedback here and see which particular questions they got right and missed. There's the fifth question. You see everybody missed that. You can see how they responded. There's the first question. And then here's the question on the science question. There's the reading question. There's the question on language arts. So that's the data. We've created that, and that's an example of using the student response system for basically rapid formative assessment. And rapid formative assessment is, the research shows that you can get major increases in student learning through the use of rapid formative assessment.